So what happened with Shedeur Sanders?
Well, a number of things happened. The number one thing that didn't happen was there was not a collusion message with the NFL owners.
What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and we have to talk more about Shedeur Sanders as Eric Dickerson, the Hall of Fame running back, has come out and doubled down on his comments that he made just prior to the season and shortly after the NFL draft about how the entire NFL colluded together against Shedeur Sanders. Now, we're seeing Kevin Stefanski not wanting to talk about Shedeur Sanders. He has him on the roster, but doesn't even see him as a viable option to even get an opportunity to play the quarterback position. And that is irritating some fans because the results haven't been so great that you can't pivot to Shedeur to see what he can bring to the team. Now, this is significant because a lot of people want to see Shedeur land in another situation. However, what we can't forget is that all the teams passed over Shedeur Sanders, several times over, where, prior to the draft, months leading up to it, he was a shoe-in for first round and top 10 even before that, right? Nobody thought he'd slip past 3 to 5 at one point after the college season ended. And so narratives started to change that. So let's get into what Eric Dickerson had to say, guys.
I didn't make that up. That's true.
That's true.
That's true. That's a true statement. I mean, I got it from an inside source. The guy who works for the National Football League. He got it from inside the league. I know they don't care for his dad. I think Deion's a great guy. Deion tries to help these young men become men, not boys. And I just felt like it was wrong what they did to him. You go to a team like the Browns. I mean, honestly, that's not a good football team. I hate to see him. I wish they would have cut him. The Browns have had so many first-round picks and screwed it up. I mean, that's a bad football team. They were bad when I played. I mean, they were decent. I think they were pretty good, but they're horrible. I don't think he's gonna get a fair shot there. I don't, because I don't think they really wanted him. I don't think the coach wanted him. They should have fired him too. But I'm not a Browns fan, at all, so I could care less. But I mean, I'm a Shedeur fan. I'm a Deion Sanders fan. I'm not the same guy I was even after I retired. You don't know. I mean, like right now, I got onsets of Parkinson's. I got to take a medication for Parkinson's. I'm gonna tell you this: the sad thing about this whole deal is that with the NFL, and look, I just love playing football, and the NFL makes you hate the NFL, the way they treat the players, especially black players. You take a black player and a white player. The white player was already smart. The black player was not smart already. So if he comes down, the white player should get paid, but the black player shouldn't get, because he was already dumb, basically. And when we get hurt, it's like right now, it's in the case with them for the Parkinson's and CTE, and we get so many that get denied. It's a great game, but it's the way they treat the black players, man. It's horrible. I just gotta say it, man. It's a bad look, and not everybody, but it's just a bad look. It really is. It's still a good old boys club.
Now, I'd be remiss not to mention this at least once in this video. Now, Brian Daboll, who was the coach of the New York Giants, was relieved of his duties earlier this week. They lost 2 big leads. I actually believe in Jackson Dart. I'd like to see him take less big hits, because that's going to cost him. I know we're talking about Jaden Daniels, but Dart is taking some of that same punishment, so he needs to watch what he's doing as well, as far as allowing himself to be hit like that. But I think they have a good team. You get Malik Neighbors back. Scatterbo looks good as a rookie. I like some of the players. But yeah, this guy here, Brian Daboll, has been relieved of his duties. And when we talk about collusion in the NFL towards Shedeur Sanders, he was one of the faces of it. I got that article right there beside it, saying that he pretty much put mistakes in the installation packages to see if Shedeur can pick it up. They were trying to set him up in his meeting, and Shedeur was upset. Now, they said an argument ensued, and that pretty much squandered any chance that the Giants would have to take him. But if you are already trying to trip him up, if you're looking for something, you will find something. Now, Shedeur, you do want to be prepared at all times, for situations like that. At the same time, you don't want to constantly have to validate yourself for an organization that's looking at you as less than or somebody who they don't completely trust, and so they're trying to trip you up all the time because at some point if they fishing for enough, they'll find something they don't like, and you don't want to be locked in with somebody like that, where they can diminish your value in the league. Now, to what Eric Dickerson said, he talked about a lot of things. He's talking about the NFL after his playing days and the punishment his body took, some of the medical issues he's having from, the grueling NFL, right? Those seasons and less protection back then, right? The pads they wore a little different than what they wear now, and also he talked about it in a way while you're still playing as you begin to age, and I started to think like, do you really see black quarterbacks get the age of like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and they're still getting jobs and playing in the league? Um, I'll say this, now we're starting to see quarterbacks that are viewed the same way as far as how good they are. Maybe they not, obviously Tom is the top guy and Aaron Rodgers is one of the top guys, but this current crop of black QBs, there will be some that's still good enough to play as they begin to age. So I'm gonna see if they're able to stay in the league, for the same amount of time as some of these players. Not necessarily 40 something, but in their late 30s, early 40s, are they still up for starting jobs? Can they last like Joe Flacco, right? Because you wouldn't say Joe Flacco is on the level of the other two guys I said, but you don't see a quarterback of that color. So the reason I say that is because, to point to Eric Dickerson's point, um, the black player, which is the reason a lot of the times they didn't even let him play quarterback, right? They weren't seen as smart enough to lead the team. They were athletic enough to go run and jump and catch that football or run through the tackles and take that beating for a shorter NFL career span, right? But they weren't they were seen as athletes, and you shouldn't be running, stand in the pocket, all this stuff, which, is some truth to standing in the pocket. You have to balance it. But being a dual threat is not a negative thing. Being able to get out of a situation and extend the play with your legs is something that should be valued. And now it's valued throughout the league. But I just wonder, because even when some of these guys slow down a little bit, when Lamar slow down a little bit, he'll still be able to extend plays with his legs, barring a huge injury, right? So you even seeing, it's being dual threat quarterbacks around the league. So like, will Josh Allen get an opportunity later in his career that some of these guys won't get? I will be watching, to see what Eric Dickerson's saying, because I kind of see what he's saying. If you look at Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and if you want to say those are two of the greatest ever, okay. Well, Joe Flacco's still holding on to jobs, right? And we've seen quarterbacks on that level not get jobs, continuously in the NFL. So yeah, that's what I would say, guys. But let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.